Wait, what happens when the world of classical opera suddenly turns its attention to a K-pop vocalist? And why are music experts, critics, and fans across the internet suddenly talking about the same name at the same time? Welcome back to Jikook Lover. Before we dive into the shocking story, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because what you're about to hear is turning into one of the most talked about discussions in the global music world right now. Because this isn't just another viral post. This isn't just fan hype. A world-class pop opera tenor, Lim Hyung-joo, has publicly praised the vocal ability of Jimin, and the internet is asking one big question. Is this the moment when the global music industry finally starts taking K-pop vocals seriously in a completely different way? Let's talk about what's really happening. At first, it didn't look like something that would explode across the internet. In the fast-moving world of online discussions, comments appear every minute, opinions come and go, and most of them disappear almost as quickly as they arrive. But every once in a while, something unexpected begins to spread, slowly at first, then suddenly everywhere. This story began with a statement that many people didn't expect to see. When Lim Hyung-joo, a singer widely respected in the world of classical crossover and opera-influenced pop, shared his thoughts about Jimin's vocals, the reaction was immediate, but not in the way most people predicted. Because this wasn't just a casual compliment. It wasn't simply saying someone sounded good. Instead, the comment focused on technical qualities that are usually discussed in serious vocal training environments. Clear diction, strong high-note extension, refined falsetto control combined with emotional delivery. For those who understand vocal technique, these are not random words. They describe specific elements of singing that are often evaluated in professional circles. And that's exactly why the internet reacted the way it did. At first, fans began sharing the statement. Then music enthusiasts started analyzing it. Soon, discussion threads appeared across multiple platforms, asking the same question over and over again. Why would a globally recognized pop opera tenor highlight those specific qualities in a K-pop idol? The conversation grew quickly. Videos resurfaced showing Jimin's live performances, studio recordings, and vocal moments that many fans had already loved for years. But now people were listening again, this time from a different perspective. Some listeners began focusing on the way Jimin handles emotional phrasing. Others paid attention to how his voice moves between softness and intensity without sounding unstable. A number of vocal analysts even discussed how his falsetto carries a distinctive texture that blends technical control with emotional storytelling. Suddenly, something interesting started happening. People who were not originally part of the K-pop community began joining the discussion. Classical music fans, vocal students, and casual listeners all started asking the same thing. Has the global music conversation underestimated the vocal artistry within K-pop? This question is not new, but moments like this often bring it back into the spotlight. Historically, genres that are associated with large entertainment industries sometimes face skepticism from more traditional music circles. Opera, classical, jazz, and other technical genres often have long histories of strict training methods and evaluation standards. So when someone from that world speaks positively about a performer from a completely different musical environment, it tends to attract attention. And attention is exactly what followed. The discussion soon expanded beyond just one statement. It became a broader conversation about how modern music genres intersect with each other in ways that were rare in the past. Today, listeners are exposed to many different styles of singing, and artists often draw influence from multiple traditions at once. In that context, Jimin's voice began to be viewed through a new lens by many observers. Some pointed out that one of his most recognizable qualities is emotional expression in high notes. In vocal performance, reaching high notes alone is not enough. Maintaining control, clarity, and emotional tone at the same time is often considered a mark of skill. This is where many analysts began connecting Lim Hyung-joo's remarks with what fans have been saying for years. They argued that Jimin's vocal style often balances delicacy with intensity. His voice can sound soft and airy in one moment, then emotionally powerful in the next. That contrast, according to many listeners, creates a strong emotional connection with audiences. And that connection is something that even classical vocal traditions value deeply. As the conversation spread globally, media communities and fan circles started framing the moment as something symbolic. Not just a compliment, but a sign that musical boundaries might be shifting. Some observers described it as a rare bridge between two worlds that don't always overlap, the structured discipline of classical vocal evaluation and the dynamic, performance-driven energy of K-pop. But of course, whenever something gains this much attention, debates follow. Not everyone immediately agreed with the interpretation of the statement. Some critics argue that comparisons between genres should be approached carefully. Others suggested that the internet sometimes amplifies comments in ways that make them seem larger than intended. Still, even those debates added more momentum to the story. Because the central topic remained compelling: recognition. Recognition from outside a fandom. Recognition from outside an industry bubble. Recognition from someone whose background lies in a completely different musical tradition. And in many ways, that's why the story resonated with so many people around the world. For fans, it felt like validation. For music observers, it felt like an interesting shift. For casual listeners, it sparked curiosity. Why are so many people suddenly re-examining Jiminn's vocals? Some analysts believe that moments like this reveal something important about modern music culture. Today, artists are no longer confined to a single category. Streaming platforms, global collaborations, and international fanbases have blurred the lines between genres. In that environment, a vocalist from K-pop receiving praise from a pop opera tenor might not be as surprising as it once seemed, but it still carries symbolic weight, especially when the praise focuses on technical detail rather than popularity. And perhaps that's the key reason this story continues to circulate online. It suggests that the conversation about vocal artistry in K-pop might be entering a new phase. One where discussions are not only about visuals, performance, or charts, but also about technique, musicality, and long-term artistic impact. As more people revisit performances and analyze recordings, the narrative continues to evolve. Some fans believe this moment could lead to greater respect for K-pop vocalists across the wider music world. Others think it may simply be a viral discussion that fades over time. But one thing is certain: the reaction shows how powerful recognition can be when it crosses genre boundaries. Because sometimes, a single comment can change the direction of a conversation happening across the entire internet. And right now, that conversation keeps circling back to the same question that fans and critics alike are debating everywhere. If more respected musicians from classical and opera backgrounds begin acknowledging Jiminn's vocal qualities, could this mark the beginning of a new era where K-pop vocalists are evaluated alongside artists from the most technically demanding genres in the world? Or is this just the first spark of a debate that could divide music fans even more in the months ahead? And as the conversation continued to spread across timelines, forums, and comment sections around the world, something unusual started to happen. People weren't just sharing clips anymore, they were listening differently. Almost as if a spotlight had suddenly been placed on details that had always been there but were rarely discussed outside fan circles. Music students began breaking down vocal runs. Reaction channels slowed down performances frame by frame. Some listeners pointed out how the emotional tone in certain songs seemed to shift subtly depending on how the notes were delivered. Others focused on how the voice could feel fragile one moment and unexpectedly powerful the next. This is where the mystery deepened. Because the more people talked about it, the more a bigger question began forming beneath the surface. Was the global audience only now realizing something that dedicated fans had noticed years ago? Or did this outside recognition actually change how people perceive the voice itself? In the modern music industry, perception can be just as powerful as sound. A single statement from a respected musician can redirect attention, and suddenly the narrative around an artist begins to evolve. That appears to be exactly what is happening now. Across social media, discussions started shifting from simple praise to something more analytical. People began asking whether this moment could influence how idols are trained in the future. Could it inspire more cross-genre vocal exploration? Could producers begin highlighting vocal tone and emotional delivery in new ways? At the same time, some observers wondered if the excitement might be building towards something even bigger. Moments like this sometimes become turning points, small sparks that later feel historic when people look back. And that brings us to the question many fans are quietly asking right now. If this recognition continues to grow, and more respected musicians start speaking about his vocal artistry, could this be the moment that permanently changes how the global music industry views Jiminn's voice? Or could the growing attention actually ignite one of the biggest debates the fandom and the music world has seen in years?